Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is Hightower5000 here today, bringing you the Light Within quest guide. The quest requirements for this quest are, you must have level 80 in the following skills: Agility, Crafting, Divination, Herblore, Prayer, Slayer, and Woodcutting. You must also complete Fate of the Gods, Meeting History, Plague's End, the Temple of Senntisten, and the World's Wake. The quest items you'll require for this quest are Enchanted Key, the exoskeleton set. You'll need a grand defense potion, only the 6 dose will work. You'll need to get 3 light cores. These can be obtained by killing blissful shadows in with the elf city. You'll also need Glarial Amulet and a rope. On top of that, it's recommended that you bring some food because you will be doing a little bit of combat. Crystal teleport seeds to get around faster, and a games necklace. Finally, once you are ready, you want to make your way to Eluned, who is located just to the west of the Grand Exchange in the Elf City. So once you arrive at the quest start point, you want to go ahead and speak with Eluned. Select option number 1, of course. And then you'll get the quest prompts. Go ahead and accept the quest. So from here, you want to make your way to the east into the area where the Grand Exchange is, and then you want to climb up the stairs. The staircase is located in the northeastern corner. Select option number 1, the Light Within. You'll then arrive upstairs, just continue through the chat. Select option number 1, good to see you all again. Select option number 2, how is it possible to bring Seren back? Select option number 3, how do we decide? Select option number 1, yes. Select option number 3, what now? You'll then go into a cutscene. Continue through the chat. So from here, you want to make your way to Guthix's Shrine or Guthix's Cave. This is located to the west of the Legends Guild and is shown on screen. So once you arrive at the cave, you want to go ahead and enter into the cave. When you arrive in the cave, you will see Guthix in the very background. You want to go ahead and climb down the stairs and make your way as far east as possible so you get as close to Guthix as you can. When you're right up beside Guthix, you want to go ahead and right click and rub the Enchanted Key. Once you're finished the cutscene, you want to go ahead and talk to Guthix. Select option number 1, I am the World Guardian. Select option number 2, you know about the key. Select option number 4, I need to restore Seren. So from here, you want to head back to your west and climb up the stairs. You should then come across Eluned, go ahead and speak with. Select option number 1, yes, we have. Select option number 1, what are you doing here? Select option number 2, are you related to Eluned? And then select option number 3, continue. Once she teleports away, you want to make your way to the east and back to Guthix. Go ahead and re-speak with Guthix. Select option number 2, continue. And then select any option. I'm going to select option number 2, thank you for your help. So from here you want to return to the Tower of Voices. This is where we just were above the Grand Exchange in the Elf City. When you arrive back, select option number 1, the light within. You'll then be back in the Tower of Voices. Go ahead and continue through the chat. So you want to go ahead and speak to everyone in this room except Eluned. It does not matter what order you go ahead and do this in. While talking to everyone, you would have been given a journal by Arianowin. Go ahead and read this. Make sure you go through all the pages, and then you can go ahead and close out of it. So for this next part of the quest, you will need the exoskeleton suit. We're going to be finding a shard. You need to make your way to the well in Letia. The best way of getting there is by either using the lodestone or by using the crystal teleport seed. So once you arrive at the well in Letia, you want to go ahead and equip the exoskeleton suit. This should be made up of 4 different parts. You then want to go ahead and investigate the well in the centre of the village. Select option number 1, yes. You will then land up down the well. You then want to go ahead and attempt to pass the Ottoman MKV. Select option number 4, Runite. Select option number 3, Knog. Select option number 2, 5. And then select option number 3, the future is doomed. You then want to go ahead and enter into the room. You should then see on the western wall there is a Seren shard which you want to go ahead and take. So from here you want to make your way back to the Grand Exchange in the Elf City. Once you arrive back in the Elf City, you want to make your way to the east. And then you want to go ahead and make your way over to the Ivy Patch, which is in the northeastern clan area in the inner circle. Once you arrive over here, you want to make your way into the talking tree, which is surrounded by all the ivy patches. Go ahead and speak with Ko Eden. Select option number 1, the light within. So throughout this dialogue, you need to go ahead and click on the various elven clan symbols which appear throughout the dialogue. I believe that every single box which moves across your screen is an elven clan symbol. You'll have to click on these for a few minutes or so until the end of the dialogue. At the end of the dialogue, you will receive a winter cut mushroom. So from here, you want to make your way to the location shown on screen. The best way of getting there is by using the Trahaearn lodestone. If you are coming from the lodestone, then you will need to pass through the dense forest to get through to this farming patch. So once you arrive, there will be a bloodcap mushroom which is to the west of the farming patch. Go ahead and pick this mushroom. You should now have 2 mushrooms in your inventory. You want to go ahead and use these on the Grand Defense Potion 6. You should then get a new type of potion. For this next part of the quest, you need to make your way to the current crystal tree location. As this moves every 2 hours, it can be a little difficult to source. What I would recommend doing is going ahead and joining the friends chat called Tree Hunt. Once you enter this chat, ask where the current location of the crystal tree is. Someone will then go ahead and tell you the location, and then you want to make your way to that location on that specific world. Alternatively, you can use the link down in the description below, or you can go ahead and use this map on screen and go ahead and go around all the different locations of the crystal tree to go ahead and find where it's currently at. The map on screen shows you the rough locations of the crystal trees. However, if you go down into the link in the description below on the Wikipedia article, you'll be able to see the exact specific locations of the crystal tree. Once you arrive at the tree, you want to go ahead and use your potion you've just created on one of the crystal tree shards. A cave entrance should then appear. Do note that someone could be standing on top of it, so you might need to go ahead and right click to enter into the cave. Once you arrive down in the cave, there should be a Seren shard there ready for you to take. Go ahead and take this, and then that is that shard collected. So for this next shard, we need to make our way to the waterfall dungeon. You want to go ahead and use your games necklace if you have it, and go ahead and select Barbarian Outpost. If not, you want to go ahead and make your way to the location shown on screen. So once you arrive, you want to go ahead and equip Glarial Amulet. You might also want to go ahead and equip the rest of your combat gear again. You then want to go ahead and board the log raft. When you arrive on this rock, you want to go ahead and use your rope, and you want to go ahead and select the rock in the distance to the south at the top of the waterfall. You then want to go ahead and use your rope on the dead tree just to the south of you. You will then land up beside the door, which you want to go ahead and enter through. You then want to go ahead and enter into the eastern room of the dungeon. You then want to go ahead and search through all the crates in the room until you find a key. Do note that this crate will be different for every single person. Once you've found the key, you want to switch over to the western room. You then want to go north past the fire giants. You will then be joined by Eluned. You then want to go to the north of the room, and you want to go ahead and investigate the statue of the king. Continue through the chat. Select option number 2, my name is X. Select option number 4, we need to restore Seren. There will then be a Seren shard in front of you, which you want to go ahead and pick up. So from here, you want to make your way back to the Elf City and to the location shown on screen. Once you arrive, select option number 1, yes. Continue through the chat. Select option number 2, I'm ready to start. So for this next part, Lady Heffen is going to be performing 3 poses, which you need to go ahead and follow and get 3 of them in a row correct to start the next parts. That part isn't the difficult part. Once you get 3 poses correct, Lady Heffen is then going to say 3 random words. You need to go ahead and take a note of these 3 words, or at least the first letter of these 3 words, because you will have to repeat them back. Now do note that these 3 words are different for every single user, however, they all start with different letters, so if you go ahead and remember the first letter of every single word, then you should be fine. Once you said those 3 words, you'll get the option to go ahead and repeat that back, which you'll need to do in the correct order. Again, it's different for every user, so you need to go ahead and pay attention. Once you've done that, you're going to have to go ahead and repeat this process 2 more times. So once you do that, the shard will then be purified, and then you'll end up exiting out of that small cutscene. In your inventory, you should land up getting the next shard. So for this next part, you need to make sure you've got all 4 shards which you've obtained in your inventory. On top of that, it's recommended, if you do have it, bring your 6th age circuit, combat equipment and some food. You want to make your way back into the Tower of Voices above the Grand Exchange in the Elf City. So you want to go ahead and select option number 1, that light within, when trying to re-enter the Tower of Voices. You'll then go into a cutscene. You want to go ahead and continue through the chat. You then want to go ahead and try and re-enter up the stairs and select option number 1, the light within. So what you want to do now is you want to go ahead and give it the respective Seren shards to the people which are shown on screen. Once you've handed over all the shards, continue through the chat. So from here, you want to go ahead and climb down the staircase and then make your way shown to the location on screen in the Elf City. Once you arrive, you want to go ahead and speak with Mor Vran. Select option number 1, ask for access to the Grand Library. So you'll then arrive on the east side. You want to go ahead and make your way around to the western side of the balcony. And then you want to go ahead and enter through the door. You then want to enter into the maze to the west and then head down into the southwestern corner where you'll find a shard. Go ahead and take that shard. Select either option, it's up to you, but this will affect the quest later on. I'm going to select option number 1, yes. Seren should return complete with all her imperfections. You then want to return to the Tower of Voices, which is above the Grand Exchange in the Elf City, which is shown on screen. Once you arrive back at the Grand Exchange, try and go back up the Tower of Voices, select option number 1, the Light Within. You'll then arrive back in, you want to go ahead and continue through the chat, you'll then hand over the Seren Stone. For this next part of the quest, we need to make our way to the World Gate, where you start the Fate of the Gods quest. The best way of getting there is by using the Eagle Peaks Lodestone teleport and then running south. So once you arrive at the gate, you will then see a symbol in the middle of the World Gate. We need to go ahead and make this like a 1, so you need to go ahead and use the various controls which are just in front of the gate, and go ahead and change the symbol in the middle of the gate to make it appear to show a 1. This is the correct answer here, a 1 with a dash at the top. Once you see the 1 on the gate, you want to go ahead and select yes to step away. You then want to go ahead and click and enter through the World Gate. You then want to select option yes. You will then go into a short cutscene. You want to go ahead and skip through the chat. You will then land up here with Eluned. So once you arrive in here, you need to go ahead and collect 50 Trahaearn crystals. You can go ahead and do this by killing crystal shapeshifters, or if you don't want to do combat like myself, you can go ahead and mine solid crystals, chop branching crystals, or go ahead and fish floating crystals, and this will instead give you crystal fragments. You need to go ahead and collect 150 of these, and then you need to go ahead and exchange them with Angoth. This will then give you the 50 Trahaearn crystals. Do note that this will take a little while to go ahead and collect all of these resources, and there's no fast way to go ahead and collect Trahaearn crystals. If you're going ahead and collecting the 150 crystal fragments, then you want to come over here to Angoth, who is beside the fire to the north of this area, to go ahead and get your Trahaearn crystals. You'll need 50 Trahaearn crystals to continue. Once you have got the 50 Trahaearn crystals, you actually want to go ahead and speak with Angoth. Select option number 1, hello, pleased to meet you. Select option number 5, leave. From here, you want to make your way back to the Tower of Voices, which is above the Grand Exchange in the Elf City. Once you're back at the stairs just below the Tower of Voices, go ahead and select option number 1, the Light Within. Once you arrive back upstairs, just continue through the chats, and then you'll go into a cutscene. Do not skip this cutscene, you'll have to watch this whole thing. If you do hit escape, however, you will need to return back up here and just speak to Eluned to re-trigger the cutscene. So you want to continue through the cutscene. The first 3 options you select here, it does not matter. I'm going to select option number 1 here, maybe you don't have to go. I'm going to select option number 1, yes, to sacrifice Eluned. When you get the option, continue through the chat with Seren. Continue through the chat. Select option number 1, Zaros. Select option number 1, I'll go now. And then select option number 1, I'm ready. So at this stage you're going to be going through a cutscene, just continue through. In a second Musfa is going to start to attack you. You just need to go ahead and avoid these attacks for about a minute or so by just going ahead and walking around. It's that simple. You do not need to do any attacking here, you just need to go ahead and avoid. When you get the option, continue through the chat and then Musfa will start to try and attack you. Just continue to walk around the arena and avoid the attacks for a duration of time. Eventually, Zaros will appear. Go ahead and talk to Zaros once Musfa disappears. Continue through the chat with Zaros. You will then arrive in this puzzle room here. For this next part of the quest, there's 4 different light puzzles which we need to solve, which are kind of difficult. You want to go ahead and come over by Seren in the center circle and have your camera facing north. You should have a similar image to me here. From this, you should be able to roughly identify 3 different circles. There should be an outer circle containing quite a few crystals, which I'm identifying for you now. There's then an inner circle which you might have to go ahead and change the angle of your camera to go ahead and identify the crystals. And then finally there should be a very central crystal which is right beside Seren himself. Do make a note of these because we are about to use these and this is how we'll solve the puzzle through different instructions using these different crystal circles. Do note if for some reason you do get any of this wrong, you simply want to go ahead and reset the puzzle by clicking on Seren. Do note that if you turn 1 crystals, it turns all the crystals in the same direction, so this is very important you get the order correct here. If you are struggling to locate the different circles and rings, then there's no need to worry, there's an easy way to do it. Every single puzzle will have different crystal locations. You want to go ahead and find 3 crystals which are in a row. From this you'll be able to determine the outer one very easily, the middle one very easily, and then the core central one very easily, and just use these 3 crystals only to do all the rotations for all the individual puzzles. Again, as it says, it switches up as you go through, but after the first puzzle, you should be able to complete the puzzles without much difficulty. For the first puzzle, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and rotate clockwise one of the crystals twice on the outer circle. Once that is done, you need to go ahead and rotate one of the crystals twice in an anti-clockwise direction. Finally, the crystal in the middle, which you may struggle to see, you need to go ahead and rotate this once anti-clockwise. If you complete this correctly, Seren will say some words to you which you can just skip through. If for some reason you have managed to muck this up, then all you need to do is go ahead and click on Seren in the middle to reset the puzzle. So for the second puzzle, you want to go ahead and rotate the outer ring twice in a clockwise direction. You then want to go ahead and rotate the middle circle in a clockwise direction once. You then want to go ahead and rotate the core circle anti-clockwise twice. Once again, if you do get this correct, then you'll land up in a small cutscene with Seren. Just continue through the chat, and then you'll be on to the third puzzle. So for the third puzzle, for the outer circle, there is no movement at all. You want to go ahead and turn the middle ring anti-clockwise twice. And then finally, you want to go ahead and turn the core center circle anti-clockwise a total of 3 times. If you do this correctly, then you'll end up going into another small cutscene with Seren. For the fourth puzzle, you want to go ahead and locate the outer ring and turn it twice in an anti-clockwise direction. You then want to go ahead and locate the middle ring and go ahead and turn this twice in a clockwise direction. Finally, you want to go ahead and rotate the core central ring twice in an anti-clockwise direction. Again, once you've done that, you will go into another short cutscene with Seren. Just continue through the chats. And then that'll be all of the light puzzles now completed. You'll then go into another cutscene which you just want to skip through. It does not matter what option you select here. I'm going to select option number 1, yes. Continue through the chat. And then select option number 1, yes, to get teleported to the Tower of Voices. Once you get teleported, you'll be right outside the stairs. Select option number 1 within the light and go back upstairs into the Tower of Voices. Seren will then be in the middle. Continue through the chat. Congratulations, you've completed the Light Within. You're awarded with 2 quest points, a 90,000 XP lamp in Agility, Crafting, Herblore, Prayer, Slayer, Woodcutting and Divination. You're given access to Seren spells and prayers, access to post-quest content on Prifddinas. You're also given 2 treasure hunter keys. Thank you very much for watching this quest guide. Please leave it a like rating, subscribe if you are new around here. Thanks very much for watching this quest guide. Please leave it a like rating, subscribe if you are new around here. Go onto my channel or go ahead and check out the description where there is links to many different quest playlists and I might be able to help you out with another quest. Go down into the description and follow me on Twitter and support me on Patreon. Any new followers or any new Patreons are greatly appreciated and will help my channel grow in the future. That's all for this video, so thanks very much for watching. My name is HighTerra5000 and I'm out.